this week.
What happened?
I mean, I think it's an accumulation of things because even Nick Saban was asked about, can he work his way back? And in his statement, he talked about, he violated team rules, whether it's academic, whether it's other things. Like Nick Saban, it sounded like there's a list, the way he talked about it. So I don't think it was a one-time incident. I think it's just an accumulation. Like Nick Saban talked about respect. Like respect was not where it needed to be.
Kicked off and let's play.
I mean, I'm ready. I feel like we've been waiting for this ever since the last game. The first edition, it felt like, okay, this is part one. When is part two going to happen? And we finally get part two today.
And you've got such a rigorous schedule. I'm just curious, like, what do you do when you need an energy boost? Are you a coffee guy, a power nap? Like, what's your secret when you need a boost in your long schedule?
Well, it's not a power nap, I can tell you that.
It is game week. It is Monday. Nick Saban spoke earlier today, and he provided a few updates on the injury front.
How fantastic that O-line was. After an Auburn game, he gave up 7 sacks. He didn't give up any sacks tonight here against Georgia.
Saban versus Kiffin, Corral versus Young. It's going to be a fun one this week between Alabama and Ole Miss. It all starts at the center position where Nick Saban says nothing has been decided yet. Competition is open for guys like Chris Owens and Darian Dalcourt.
We also heard from Lane Kiffin in Ole Miss today. Lane Kiffin has been here before, but he was with Tennessee years ago, and he is back, and he came back in a big way, made a splash.
Will Anderson, the starting outside linebacker, is considered day-to-day right now, Nick Saban said on Monday, after he suffered a knee injury in the Mercer game that forced him to leave in the third quarter, and that will likely keep him out for the year. And he's a guy who is a big loss for this defense. He led the SEC in tackles for loss in 2020, and then they even had another chance close to the goal line, goal to go in the second half, and they had 3 straight passes, only one was completed, and Alabama could not score a touchdown. Alabama football is coming off a big win this past week against Ole Miss, but it did not come without a bit of a cost. Jace McClellan, one of their running backs, is going to be out for the season. Nice little flex by Nick Saban heading into the first week of the NFL season. Well, that is all for this week. I will have more for you next week. Until then, I'm Nick Kelly.